Well, people, I've done it. I've lost my temper at the perps. And I have been raging for hours. And I mean hours. So they finally have done that. They know that if they continue to poke and prod at us, that eventually they're going to provoke us and we're going to be the violent person that they're trying to make us. This neighbor of mine is a little punk. He spends the entire day, those noisy Hondas, and he'll literally sit there all day long. And then he zooms out of here. And so this is very intentional. It's obvious that he's very immature. And then, of course, the first day I moved here, they spent hours calling me a cunt. And I mean hours. And then, of course, now what's going on is, of course, every time I step out of my house, there's horn honking. You all know about that, and they provoke me to anger with color harassment. They did a lot of hand signals when I first moved here. So if I go outside, I hear either hear the C word, or they'll call me a snitch or a rat. So this is frequent. So finally, after all of this abuse, you know about this. Uh, so then finally I went off on him. I saw him and I was just like, dang it, you know how you do. And so then what does he do? His dad calls the sheriff on me. And then, of course, he holds the phone and I'm already losing my temper. And then, of course, the officer sees me losing my temper, which is exactly what they want. And so, um, now they're playing the made you look game. You know how you hear your dogs barking and then you look and there's nothing out there. And so they play all of these games with us all day long. And you know what? I can't do it anymore. And the thing is I've already moved 4 times. So unfortunately, people like this are everywhere. And so where am I going to go? I could climb the highest hill or run to the lowest valley, and wherever I go, I could go to a different country and they'd follow me there. I've been run out of 4 counties, and now they're about ready to get me in jail. And so they've already done a successful smear campaign. My neighbor, uh, her dog was barking, and anyway, I said, please, do something with the dog. It was a really obnoxious whine. And then she's like, nope, this is where the dog's going to stay. Consequently, I just had brain surgery, so I had a splitting headache. Anyway, then I went back over there and I was gonna, well, I shouldn't have done this, but I was gonna take the dog home because I thought, well, I know I shouldn't do that, but she wasn't dealing with the dog. Um, so basically, then her dad came flying out of the garage and shoved me on the ground. And then she called the Oregon State trooper who came into my house eventually and took me out of my house in handcuffs. And then they took me to a medical hospital for a mental health evaluation. So now I'm discredited. Then they served me with papers while I was in the hospital. And then they served me with a court order. Then I couldn't go home to a house that I owned. This all goes down to the smear campaign. He made my neighbor afraid of me by lying and making up a smear. And today he brought it up. He says, "You shoved that woman." I'm like, I've never shoved anybody in my life. And here he's got 4 kids and he's lying about it. And so I'm screwed because basically then he's going to say, she's bothering me. And then the judge is going to believe them. And then I'm going to go to jail as a stalker. And they're the ones that are the perps. So they're turning the table on me. So I wanted to let you know that this can happen. And it's happened to me. And, so what I think it is, I think it's people that are drug traffickers. That's how it started out. And it's actually mellowed out. This is one of the bad days, where I just lost it. But that, I'm trying to be a spiritual person, and my friends all like, Susan, you need to pray, you need to not talk to them or whatever. But, whatever. It happens. It happened to me. See, now the dogs are barking. I got to see what's out there. Probably some perp trying to cause trouble. Come on. You want to go outside? Come on. Come on, Chloe. Let's go. All right. That's not one of the options. So, I don't know what that was about. But anyway, I'm frustrated and nobody is helping us. And the police are actually believing them. I've got a lady on the street that calls me a cunt every friggin' day. So now I have to listen to her. I've got a guy diagonal that calls me a rat. Um, this is a very hostile environment, and they're trying to get me incarcerated. And then, of course, then they're going to send their gang after me if I go to jail. If I go to a mental health facility, then I won't be able to return to my home. Consequently, I was a licensed social worker. And so, not that makes me any better, but this is really happening to me. So I wanted to let you know that these perps can turn the table on you when you least expect it. I'm in survival mode. I've been discredited. I've had a vicious smear campaign done against me. It's a very cruel game they're playing, just so that they don't have to go to jail. They're trying to either run us out of town, which I've already been run out of 4 counties. Uh, it doesn't do any good because they'll just send the next goon squad out.